Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If there's one thing I have found out fairly recently about my viewers on this channel is you guys like sharp, pointy things. My recent video featuring the two Odin Wolf mini knives has been super successful. You guys have really jumped on board and have clearly been buying a bunch of those knives, and I hope that you all love them as much as I love mine. So the folks at Odin Wolf were apparently pretty impressed with the way you guys responded and decided to send me two more knives. And let me tell you something. These things are cool. So without any further ado, let's check this out and see what they sent me. This first knife I'm going to show you in the box. For whatever reason, the packaging alone impressed me so much with this knife that everybody I show it to them in the box. There's just something about the way it presents. But this is what I received. This is the Odin Wolf Ambulo, or Ambulo, however you pronounce it. The word Ambulo means to walk or to traverse, which is a perfect name for this particular knife. This is an all-purpose utility style knife. So look at the way this comes packaged. You've got the knife itself here in this really nice box. You have a blade-shaped insert that protects the blade while it's in the box. You have a sheath, you have an extension buckle, cleaning cloth, and there's a couple more items in here that we'll get to in just a minute. But let me show you this gorgeous knife, because this thing really impressed me. You ever had one of those knives that you bought and you just really didn't want to use it for a knife because it was so beautiful and you were afraid you might mess it up? I kind of feel that way with this knife. It's so gorgeous. But look at this thing. Look at the blade design. Look at the handle. The absolute polish and precision of the construction of this knife. This is of course made of D2 steel, which all of the Odin Wolf knives are made of. It's a very strong tool steel. Now it can be a little more complicated to sharpen it, but once you figure out those little fine details, it's not a problem because this blade really knows how to hold an edge. But look at the overall design of it. This has such a good ergonomic feel. It has a G10 handle with a through tang design that is so polished and perfect, and of course it has an extension on the back for the lanyard, which also makes this a glass breaker. There's a thumb ridge on the back of the blade, and of course you have the false edge tip. This thing is stunning looking. It's absolutely beautiful. The finish on that handle is incredible, but I can't say enough about just the appearance of this knife. It has an amazing weight though. There's a really good balance to this, and it feels sturdy and robust in the hand. Such a perfect fit, the way that handle is designed, that just makes you feel like you can hold on to it. But if you have any concern with that, of course, you have the adjustable lanyard on the back here that lets you fix it just to the right size for your wrist so that you can work without worrying about dropping it. Now let's look at the other things that are in here. You've got your cleaning cloth for keeping fingerprints off of that blade. And then you've got this Kydex sheath that's almost as beautiful as the knife itself. It's so well designed, and it comes with a fire tool. You have a ferro rod that's integrated into the sheath. Even the handle is the same color as the sheath, so it's just a seamless design. And then you've got this belt clip that allows you to carry it as a drop holster. The one that's on the sheath when it arrives has Velcro on it, so you can make adjustments to the size. You have another one that's just a simple belt loop that you can clip on instead of this one. And on the back of the sheath, you have a tech lock system that will allow you to clip it to either a belt or to MOLLE equipment. What an amazingly and thoroughly thought out setup this knife is. It fits so well in that sheath and locks in place. Fire tool locks in place. Everything is just secure. And it just feels like you can count on this tool to be there when you need it. Now, of course, as cool as this looks, with all the things that it's set up with, it's useless if it doesn't work, right? Let's see how sharp this knife comes just out of the box. It's not a perfectly razor sharp edge, but it's still good enough to get the job done. Now I've set up this little test board here with some various different kinds of ropes and stuff on it. And up here I've got this piece of leather. I just wanted to see how efficient this knife would be cutting through that. Look at that, it's just slicing right through that strip of leather. I hope you guys were able to see that. I was so busy looking at the leather, I wasn't paying attention. We've also got some rope down here that we're gonna test. Let's see what we got here. It is making such easy work of this rope. I know it's hard to see because of the way I'm holding this, but this thing is just going right through this rope. Y'all, I think this knife is absolutely amazing. It's beautiful. it's functional, and here's the best part. This is the clincher with this knife. This thing is less than 50 bucks with free shipping. Now let me tell you a little story about this. When this knife arrived, I was showing it off to my family. I had it in the box, was showing everybody, and my youngest daughter she doesn't really care much about this kind of stuff. She was absolutely smitten with this little knife. And then about a week later, I got a text from her. She was hanging out with some friends and she said, "What was the name of that knife?" I told her it was from Odin Wolf and I sent her a link to it. She was telling me that one of the friends that she was with was looking for a good but inexpensive knife to keep with a kit, and I sent her a link to this knife. Now, one of the great things about the knives is, of course, Odin Wolf also sent me a discount code. So after I show you the other knife, go down in the description box, look for the link, look for the discount code, and go get you this Ambulo knife. Look, I've had knives all my life. This thing impressed me. This is a really great knife. And of course, we got to check one last thing. Let's see how it throws sparks. Okay, I'm gonna burn the house down if I keep that up. Get you one of these. That's enough of this one. Now I gotta show you the other knife that I got because this thing is so cool. Look how big this thing is. It's ginormous. When Odin Wolf reached out to me the first time, they sent me a link to their website to check out their products. I came across this one, and this was the first knife that I looked at and said, I gotta have one of those. So I was really thrilled when they reached out and said, we're gonna send you this knife. This, kids, is the Machete. Look at this beast. This thing is massive. So the Machete is their workhorse. This thing is designed for bushcraft. It's designed for whatever you need it to be, but it's designed as a chopper. Of course, it's a machete. It's got a PP handle. I don't know what PP is, but if you know, leave a comment and tell me about it. Is this a good handle material? Because it really has a good feel to it. Look at the sheath that comes with it. That is a heck of a piece of plastic right there. I like that. I was glad to see that Odin Wolf didn't take the easy way out and just send like a nylon sheath or something. This is actually a good molded plastic sheath, so this is going to come in handy. So let's check out this beast of a blade. Look at that. So this is the black satin finish version of the knife, and you can see just how impressive of a blade that is. It comes to a fine point at the cutting edge, but it does give you a good balance when you're swinging it that allows you to use it all the way to the very end of that cutting edge. So you've got a good long handle on it. It allows you to use it with one hand or two. It's not a full two-handed grip, but if you need to get behind it, then you've got room to do that. But you also have room to put your hand a little further back to get a little bit better of leverage on your swing, or you can choke up if you're trying to do more detailed work. One of the cool things about this blade though, is it has a dual ground edge. You can see the cutting edge that it's got here. This is your chopping edge. This is for doing things like batoning wood or chopping through limbs. But down here, you have a fine ground edge that allows you to do detailed work, whether you're carving or just using this for everyday purposes. It's close to the edge of the handle so that you can get a little bit more detailed focus on what you're doing if you're trying to do, say, a feather stick or something like that, or you're just trying to get some fine cuts into something. Now, a blade like this is only as good as it is strong and functional. This is not something that you want just because it's cool looking. You need this blade to be able to work. So I'm going to get out my little board with my different ropes on it, and we're going to test it and see how effective it is. But first of all, let me show you what's on here. So I've got this strip of leather. You've already seen me cut that with the other knife. I've got this very dense cotton rope. This is a very coarsely braided and dense rope. Down here I've got another rope that I think this is a polyester blend rope, but it's not as dense as this one. This is actually a very loose braid. And then down here I've got just a piece of jute twine style braided rope. So we're going to start down here. We're going to test this and see what it takes to cut through each of these ropes and see if this thing is going to be an efficient tool. All right, let's get down here close. Let's put on our safety glasses so that we can get to work. All right, so first off, let's just see how this works, just kind of cutting through this rope. Does a good job there. Let's try this little edge here. Yeah, that's a workhorse right there. That little edge right there just rips through there. I know it looked like it struggled a little bit. The problem is more me and the positioning of all of this. I'm working kind of with bad leverage, trying not to cut this rope while I'm cutting this one. Let's give it a chop. Wow, okay. Yep, that ripped right through that. That rope didn't stand a chance. All right, next up we've got this more loosely braided poly cotton rope. Let's see how it does with that. Yep, cutting through that pretty easy. Let's try this little blade on the back. Yeah, that's making short work of that. So let's see how well it chops. Wow, I did not expect that to go so cleanly through. And then look at what it did to the board underneath. Now, to be honest, I'm only swinging from about here. I'm not swinging this way behind my back or anything. It is only dropping about as far as from my shoulder down. That shows you just how efficiently this knife will cut. All right, next up we've got this guy. This one I can see as being a bit of a challenge. This is a much more dense rope. Let's see if we can get through just like this. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is cutting right through there. Once again, I can only get so much leverage while I'm trying to do all of this and run the camera and everything at the same time. So understand that what you're seeing is a little bit impacted by that. All right, let's do a chop test on this one. I kind of feel like this one might not go all the way through. This is a extremely, look how dense this rope is. I mean, it's almost like an oxtail or something. This thing is really dense. All right, let's see what happens. Okay, that surprised me. That made super easy work of that, which means it's also going to affect it similarly here, I'm sure. Let's see how we cut through. Easy work. Man, that thing. I love this thing. All right, one more try. Let's see what happens here. That was too easy. I almost feel like I've cheated you guys by not coming up with something really tough for this thing to do. I honestly thought that one rope was going to give me some resistance. It did not. So the Odin Wolf Machete comes in just under $90, also with free shipping. Go down to the description box, get my discount code, get it for less. Also, Odin Wolf is constantly running sales where if you spend a certain amount of money, you get a free knife. So whatever you buy, you're probably going to get something free to go along with it. Look, fill up your cart, people. These things are amazing. I don't know that I've ever been so thoroughly impressed with an entire line of products from a company, but I've now tried 4 knives from these people, and I have been blown away by all of them. And I'm not saying that because they sent me these things for free. This is going to become my everyday carry knife. It's not going to be on my belt at all times, but it's going to be with me. This thing is going in the back of my car. I am going to keep this on hand for every outing that I go on because I feel like I can count on this to get the job done. It's got a good, strong structure. I can use it for chopping, for batoning, whatever I need it to do, and it's gonna get it done. Get out there, get you these Odin Wolf knives, and then report back to me and tell me what you think. I am impressed. This has been so much fun. It really shocked me with the results. I can go on and on babbling about this, but you guys saw it yourselves. You see what you're getting. You've seen the testing. Just for the beauty of the Ambulo knife, get that. For the functionality of this thing, grab you one of these. But that's it for this review of the Odin Wolf knives. If you enjoy this kind of content, leave me a message and tell me about it also. And when you go over to Odin Wolf, don't forget to leave a review for these knives and also tell them Dad Budget Adventures sent you. But that's it for this video, and until the next one, prepare for the world that you live in, not the one you wish existed. I'm gonna chop something else up.